This is Camp Mvuu on the banks of the Zambezi River, 40 kilometers, I would say, west of the town of Livingstone. Most luxury lodges, and this is a fairly luxury lodge, it doesn't look like really high end, kind of middle. Normally they don't offer camping. This one does, and we're camping, and that's actually quite nice. Most are too snobby. Ugh, campers? No, not at our lodge. They even offer a cup of coffee to the campers that come down to the reception. It's quite nice. Border post yesterday. My advice to you, if you're going through Zambia, keep a cool head, especially if you're going through one of the larger border posts. I thought we were going through one of the smaller ones, Kasangula. It is one of the smaller ones, but it's one of the hectic ones. The ferry crossing cost 200 pula. The visas, 2 UK passport visas, there was 80 each, US dollars, double entry visas. We were then taken for quite a bit of money for a total of 5 different forms, and these were the forms. The Zambia Revenue Authority for temporary importation of the vehicle. This is the, I think this was a road tax form. Then there's a carbon tax form. Of course I had to have the vehicle registration. Then there's a district council tax form. And then this one, which is the insurance form. I actually had to cross the border, walk across the border to go and purchase this insurance. The total cost was, I guess, about, I haven't actually counted the exact amount, about 350 US dollars to get through that border post. So an expensive morning, but Zambia, as you can see, is promising to be absolutely beautiful. Today we're heading up north, actually northwest, to some falls that have been described to me as, imagine Victoria Falls without all the tourists and without all the people trying to sell you curios. Well, those are the falls that we're going to today. But first things first, I have to clean up this diesel spill. The problem, of course, is to sort out the dieseline problem. I'm going to send Kate in there with this. Water doesn't really help, it just spreads it around. I was sleeping and I could smell dieseline the whole night, in amongst all the lion calls and the hippos, which made up for it. But I've got to try and get rid of the smell. So I don't know why these things don't normally leak, but this one is leaking. So my advice, carrying fuel, steel, and if you can't get steel, don't carry fuel, because the other danger, of course, with plastic, it can rub through. Maybe on a boat it's okay, but I say, so now I'm going to decant. I put on a dirty shirt in case I spill, and I'm going to get rid of this diesel. Right now heading west to the Ngonye Falls, which are supposed to be spectacular, also part of the Zambezi, and the road is not what I expected. Now it's so easy to get this wrong when estimating times. You know, you look up, yes, the road from A to B is tar, this road all the way to Lower Plains is tar, but this tar is actually slower than a good gravel road. So when calculating times, it's actually impossible to know and it's wrong to assume that a tar road you will be able to maintain 80, 90 or 100 kilometers an hour. For the last hour and a half, we've probably been averaging about 40 kilometers an hour. Anyway, Ngonye Falls is supposed to be the second Victoria Falls, and in fact I've even read in Lonely Planet Guide it's something like, imagine the Victoria Falls without all of the tourists. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. We're at Ngonye Falls reception, and it has a rather eclectic array of locally acquired ornaments. To get to the falls means a walk, and it turns out we have our own guide. Well, it's 36 degrees and it looks like it's a bit of a walk, and the water level looks quite low here as well, which is no surprise. As we're getting a bit closer, the wow factor is getting larger. One thing though, it's quite a long walk. Take water. We didn't take water. We weren't told how long the walk is, so we didn't take water. Oh man, this is unbelievable. Why don't more people know about this? Like Victoria Falls without the tourists, eh? I read this in the Lonely Planet Guide. A bigger overstatement I can't imagine. Ngonye Falls is about 300 kilometers upstream from Victoria Falls. I'm trying to imagine what these falls would be like if the water level was even at its normal level. Ngonye Falls has been formed by the same geological processes as Victoria, with cracks in the basalt being eroded to form the drop. Their height is only about 10 to 25 meters, but with a width comparable to Victoria. There are in fact 7 separate waterfalls. Definitely worth the walk. Definitely you're going to need to carry water with you. It's not a particularly long walk, but at 36 degrees it's quite a long walk. Worth coming here. It's the ideal spot if you're going up to Luiwa Plains from Livingstone. It's not quite halfway, but it's the perfect stop off and an amazing place. Back in camp, and it's time to break out some mosquito repellent and a new product that I've been asked to test. It's called Bugger Off.
That's clever.
Bugger Off. It's a natural mosquito stuff. Definitely citronella, and it's supposed to ward off mosquitoes. However, I've got something else that I think we should try. I've got your green one.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. They're called Parakeeto. They are armbands, or ankle bands, bracelet. I suppose you could use it for anything. Each pack comes with 2 citronella cartridges, said to ward off biting insects for up to 2 weeks. So now I am going to try this, and I'm going to wear this and see if I can ward off mosquito bites, because I got bitten twice yesterday. We shall report back later in the expedition and tell you how well they're working by counting the mosquito bites on various parts of our bodies. Yesterday was a complete surprise. Again, we have failed to set up the campsite that I really wanted to, and that was, I wanted a campsite on the banks of the Zambezi. Well, there she is, but campsite's quite, a kilometre, half a kilometre inland at the community campsite here. No possibility in camping anywhere close to this river. This volcanic rock is impassable. It's difficult enough to walk on, let alone drive on. But there she is. Today we head north west further to Lower Plains. One of the main reasons for this expedition was not just to discover the wonder and beauty of Zambia, but to prove once and for all that it's just not necessary to spend lots of money on accessories and kit, and that a stock 4x4 is all that is needed for a wonderful 4x4 bush experience. We've equipped this vehicle in a minimalist way, just what's necessary and no more. And in the following episodes, you'll be finding out how we did it. But what an amazing campsite. Ta-da!